Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Runequest character app. This is Chris, I'm the author, and in this episode I'm going to walk you through how to use the different character creation and modification abilities. So one of the ideas behind this that's slowly becoming more and more useful is the idea that once you've created a character, you can make this character open and other people can benefit from that. So again, if you go into My Characters, because this is a demo account, I only have one character in here for the Demo 3 account that I made. But if I click in on Runequest, I'll be brought to the open roster. And here I've got the list of probably well over 100 characters, I'd say. So if I go through here, and these are all characters that other people have made on the system. A lot of them are, again, myself and my players, but there's a bunch of other folks as well. And if I say that this character, Morgan, looks interesting. So Morgan is well, no, she doesn't have any rune spells. So we'll go down to Sif Shield Arm. So this is made by another player. And we'll have a look at Sif. So she is a light infantry of the Grayslands and an initiate of Orlanth adventuress. And I say, okay, well, this is pretty close to what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a good warrior with a long spear. This is pretty cool. You'll notice that when you're signed in, you'll see the Add to My Roster button. So this one button basically creates a copy of Sif. Again, Sif was made as an open character. And open characters basically are characters that can be used by other players. So now, if I go into My Characters, you'll see there are two. I've got Hargast and I've got a copy of Sif. Now, one thing you'll notice in the copy is there's not two copies of Sif in the open characters. Instead, if you look down here, Sif has not been added to the open roster. So the intent here is not that well, one, you can make use of other folks' characters, you can use them to populate your games if you like them, but you can also change them. So I could say this is Sif Never Miss. And I can enter, okay, so we'll say hot-headed infantry. And I can make whatever other changes I want. So I want Sif to be a little bit faster, she's not quite as charming, but I also think that for some reason I want her to have a really powerful darkness rune, which makes no sense because she is an initiate of Orlanth, but anyways. So we'll do that. So I make whatever changes I need, and I'll just say this is an NPC, manual update, save that, and then I have Sif Never Miss in My Characters. So this means that it's very, very easy for you to go in, even if you're new to using the app. If you're a game master or if you're a player, you can go through and make use of great stuff that other folks have done. So one of the things you can do here is look for simple things like horses. So here's a horse. So I have a look at the horse. This is an NPC, so we've got, there we go. So we only have base skills for the horse, and that is something that I just discovered right now. So here's the horse, gameplay, hit points, everything that we need for it. So we're going to add the horse to my roster as well. So from here, again, My Characters now includes the horse. You can do some kind of cool things. And one of them is you can pair characters together in a faction. So if I go into Add Content, I can add a faction. You can only, so the faction, this could be My Heroes, or we'll say it's Hargast's Friends. And we'll just say Buddies for Life. And here we are not going to, well, sure, we'll add to open factions. But basically, I can only add characters to a faction that are mine. So I'm going to add Hargast, I'm going to add Sif Never Miss, who we'll say is his ally, and I'm going to add Hargast's horse. I'll save that, and this creates a faction, which now shows up in My Content Factions. So I can see all the different factions that I have here, and then if I click there, I basically get a summary page of all of the characters in that faction. So from kind of one screen where again I can keep track of hit points, I can keep track of magic points, the stats of weapons. I can kind of keep track of everything that's going on with these characters from a simple place. So this is a pretty cool thing in my mind. You can also go directly to the main character by clicking on View, and then you hop right back here. So basically, once folks start adding more characters, and especially the creatures I think will be useful, you can go in and do some pretty cool things. One of the things is, so going into, we'll have a look at the faction of the Telmori Warband. Here we've got the equivalent of a full combat encounter. So we've got 2 Telmori Wolf Brothers, we've got Jagar Sog, a Shaman, we've got Costage or Wolf Champion, and 2 Dire Wolves, all being kind of tracked out of the same page. So again, this is mostly useful as a game master, and again, I've been running Runequest for a while, so I found this to be something super useful when I'm setting up. I can create the characters that I need, I can put together in a faction, I can access them quickly, I can track what's going on in terms of a combat, and then I can focus really on what's happening in the game versus flipping back and forth between rule books. So that's the last thing I'll show you in going into my characters is once I'm in one of the characters that I've got, you also have the duplicate button. This is mostly intended if you want to do something a little bit, or do something like, say, well, I've already got horses, or I already have an infantry, but really this is a special horse, or this is I want to create a sergeant here. Then you can, so I'll actually hop back out, and let's do this. So we've created the Lunar Soldier. Alright, so I think we have a Lunar Soldier here somewhere. There's a Lunar Soldier. So we'll look at the Lunar Soldier. We'll add the soldier to my roster. He's now in my roster. I'm going to duplicate that soldier, which brings me here. We will edit the soldier, and this is going to be a Lunar Sergeant, if I can spell correctly. And the sergeant's going to be a bit more charismatic, a bit tougher, a bit faster, about the same smarts, and but he's going to have, we'll make him basically the equivalent of a veteran. So I'll give him a little bump in shield, sword, and we'll give him slightly better armor. So we'll give him chest armor of 5, abdomen armor 5, and say that's good enough, and we'll just say this is an NPC. Update. Save there. Then we go into my characters, and we've got a Lunar Sergeant, a Lunar Soldier, Hargast, Sif Nevermiss, and the horse. We'll go back into our factions. We will go in here, we will edit the faction, and here we're going to add in 1 Lunar Sergeant, and we're going to add in 2 Lunar Soldiers. Save again, and all of these then show up in that faction. So again, just very easy once the characters are in place for you to use, reuse, modify, and set it up for something that hopefully will be of use to you in your game. That will be the end of this, and thank you so much for listening.